Up about us. What are those things?
Oh, you don't want to see it. It's bad news.
Is it? Stats. Is it stats? Does it say good things about us? Check that out. Wow. Okay. Well, what can we talk about with this? Should I just keep doing this for the old recorders?
You can actually grab them and pound them between phone breaks first.
Nice. How's everybody today?
Very good.
Awesome.
I love the clips that you guys showed.
Oh, good.
They were hilarious, as always.
Good. Yeah, I was saying the season 6 trailer we cut together in like half a day.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as put together as our DC one.
It was still hilarious.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Who wants to start?
When you guys want to do a DC type special, how do you even start with that much canon and that much material to work with? What's your entry point?
It's because it's such a big, there's such a big amount of material. That actually helps rather than hurts us. And because all we do when we write the show is brainstorm, and whatever we find funny ends up in the show. And we also didn't set out to write a narrative. One just sort of popped out the more we wrote. So, and we also have the freedom not to, we can make up whatever we want. So it was actually a benefit to have that much stuff.
Yeah, we actually ended up for the DC special, I think we had 100 pages of script. And then the final script ended up being 60 pages. And then once we ended up voicing all of that and cutting everything down, the finished one was about 42 pages, I think is the final one. So for 22 minutes of content. Yeah, we cut a lot.
What heroes did you take out that you wish you could have put back in?
You know, as weird as it sounds, there's very little Joker in this.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't get Mark Hamill back?
No, it was less about that. We didn't know if we were going to get Mark Hamill or not when we were writing it. But when we saw the finished piece, whatever reason, there's literally like 2 scenes with the Joker, I think. And that's really it.
Yeah, I think I'm not even sure he talks. He's in it. His squirting flower makes an appearance.
Harlequin's in it too,
Yeah.
so it's fun.
Yeah, there's more Harley than Joker.
Tara Strong.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Or were there any heroes you would have loved to see that you couldn't put in or anything?
Heroes.
Or bad guys, even villains?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a lot in there. I mean, you could probably name a character, and there's a good chance I'll just be like, oh yeah, they're in there.
Is there an appearance from The Watchmen?
The Watchmen, there is not. You know, we did not touch upon Vertigo.
We sort of made a decision not to, just because.
But I was gonna say, yeah, we didn't go Watchmen, we didn't go Vertigo, we didn't go Wildstorm.
No. I mean,
Plastic
Swamp
Man?
Thing is in there, and he's sort of on the edge.
Plastic Man?
Plastic Man.
Plastic Man, I think we wrote some sketches. But with those elastic heroes, we always write the same jokes.
Yeah.
So that was an easy cut. I'm a big Teen Titans fan, and I would have loved to get all of the 80s New Teen Titans in there, but
I love the Beavis and Butthead Teen Titans episode you guys did.
yeah, that was.
Tom actually wrote a Teen Titans Go to Prom sketch. It was great. It ended up being like a 3 or 4 minute sketch, and it was hard to fit into the fast-paced 22-minute. I would say if we had the hour long, that would have been in there. But with it only being 22 minutes, we just couldn't fit it with the narrative we were doing.
Now you guys mentioned when we asked about Watchmen about Vertigo and kind of staying away from that. What was the reasoning to stay away from that sort of?
For me, this is your first swing. You have 22 minutes. You go for the big guns.
The big guns.
You know, like if we do more specials, we'll have more time. But like it's like saying, you know, when you have your first chance to make a Superman movie, and if you decide not to put Lex Luthor at the forefront of it, it makes you question why wouldn't that be, or Batman to not put the Joker in it. Like it's just
We had a narrative too. Like we were, it's a loose narrative, but we were kind of telling a story. And so we didn't want to complicate it with like making Earth 2 Flash show up, or Earth 1, I always get them mixed up. Jay Garrick was not going to show up, and like, the Watchmen don't exist in the DC universe, or the main universe, obviously, because they're a commentary about the universe anyway. So we just didn't want to muddy the waters. It's hard enough to be coherent sometimes on our show.
Now, do you have plans for another themed show? I mean, obviously Star Wars.
Have you ever, because I know you guys have used a lot of your own toys and you use the internet. Have you ever found a character that you really wanted to use, but it was just too obscure? Like somebody that none of your audience might have known.
No, we unfortunately put obscure things in all the time. Our first season, I was obsessed, and I still am, with that movie Midnight Madness, which is god awful but wonderful at the same time. We had 3 jokes that just showed up on it, and everybody hates me that they're in there, because we did something, a Magic Garden sketch for anybody who grew up on the East Coast. It was a tri-state area, so it was like New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. Nobody else in the country understands that joke. We do that a bunch.
There's nothing too obscure, but there's time limits. So. Like Mr. Banjo shows up in our DC special, but not for long. I don't think we can do
Actually, he shows up longer than you'd expect.
Well, we sort of fell in love with him.
Yeah, we're making him
Will we
cooler.
see any exoskeletons?
Chip from Green Lantern Corps shows up.
Yep.
Or no, we ended up being Badge.
Yeah.
But only briefly. That's sort of the rule.
Educate the rest of the group.
I didn't even think anybody'd seen the movie Midnight Madness.
What's that?
I didn't even realize anybody.
That's Michael J.
ever-
Fox's first role.
No, I know. I still say Eagle.
Easter Bunny. Easter Parade.
Yeah, and no one has
See?
any idea what the heck that's about.
You guys will now all have to rent it. I hope to spread the good gospel. Yep, I'm with it. What else can we answer?
How do you guys go about making sure the physical humor works before getting
The physical humor?
Yeah.
I mean, with the physical humor, a lot of it is our animators. Our animators are our actors. I mean, we write things and say, insert battle sequence here. And then our animators work with our director and they choreograph something spectacular. And all the credit goes to them. I mean, our voice talent gives a performance and they play it off of that performance and make the motions fit it.
Is there ever arguments over who gets to voice what?
Not really. I mean, with casting, we just kind of have a list of people that we want and also people who have approached us to do the show. And then we know that they get to play 3 voices. And we can only really afford like 6 or 7 actors per episode, and then everyone else has to be Seth. We just have to accept that fact, and that's what our budget constraints are.
And it's sort of like putting a puzzle together.
Yeah.
We have a list of names, and it's less about who wants to play what and more about, oh my God, how are we going to get this finished?
Yeah, and we've got, especially in this season, it's like, hey, we have Skeletor. I'm like, okay, Dan Milano plays our Skeletor. He's automatically 3 characters. And then I look at that list, I'm like, who else can we bring? We're already at like 5 actors by the time we put that. Okay, we have 6 girl parts in this episode. I need to find 2 female voice talents to be able to do this. All right, I know that there are going to be 2 like that, and you just start mapping it all out and seeing how it works. But yeah, it's not easy anymore.
You finished a script and then you went to animating and then you see it come back and you're like, that's not really what I had in mind.
That actually happens a lot, but what generally happens is the reason that happens is because they're solving problems along the way, and things have to happen for budgetary reasons, and they find creative ways around those problems. And when they do that, the results tend to be pretty good. So in fact, stuff gets improved, and I can sort of take credit for it. That's what I wanted the whole time, but on the inside, I'm like, that's the least bit what I was thinking.
Yeah.
What's new about season 6?
What's new about it? Our opening.
We're changing the opening. We're
Because
picking
of
up.
the-
Jeff has written on robotics.
Well, the scientist dead.
Yeah.
So we got to deal with that.
Well, that was a choice, though, too. I mean, we could have just used our old opening again.
And probably, yeah.
And, because it's cartoon continuity, but, we decided that going forward, we're going to change that opening credit sequence.
Do you ever have a fear that you will run out of ideas? Like you will
Oh, we
run-
ran out of ideas season 2.
And it's that desperation that makes us a little more creative.
But
Just grabbing random toys.
But it's like Saturday Night Live.
We do
You know,
that a lot.
it's a sketch comedy show where we get new writers to come in and play with us and goof around, and they have different thoughts and ideas. And I think with that, we'll just continue to rotate, and hopefully we can evolve into that. I mean, SNL's been on for over 25 years. Who knows if we will? I mean, we have 5 or 6 seasons in. I didn't think we would get to past 2. So
I think you guys are way better than SNL. Though.
we're just
we know how to end a sketch.
we're just faster. They have to fill an hour and a half. So we have to fill only 11 minutes. So if you put together an hour and a half of our stuff in a row, you'd be like, oh my god, this is awful.
I think that's part of the formula that works too, is that it's 22 minutes, so no one really gets. Or it's like 15 or
Yeah, it's
whatever.
fast paced. It's just like that. Yeah, it's ADD TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone you've been working with a lot is Seth MacFarlane. How do you guys feel like you interact with each other because of Robot Chicken? And I know you've done tie-in with Family Guys every so often.
I mean, Seth MacFarlane's great. I mean, he introduced us to Adult Swim. He worked on. He did voices for us after Family Guy was canceled on Fox. He did voices for us for our internet shorts that we were doing when it was called Sweet J Presents before it became Robot Chicken. He did our Emperor for us and
Santa.
He's always our Santa. He's always our Lion-O.
He's always endlessly accommodating with us, and we give him nothing in return.
Yeah, I mean,
Except we let Seth go to record Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then our Seth has to actually do his job and go to but yeah, it's been really nice. It's very playful with those guys, and we know a lot of the guys over at Family Guy, and they know us. And when they took the piss out of us on the Star Wars specials, that gave us the best promotion of our life. We were like, you can insult us all you want. So God bless you guys for getting us on, talked about on a network.
I even love that Adult Swim bit they did where they mimicked the title or the bumps.
Yeah.
That was cool.
What did you guys think when Seth was taking shots at Seth for like his other movies during that
perfect.
special?
That's great. I mean, all the power to it. I mean, we had McFarlane show up as a toy on our show.
The one where he got you guys back on air.
What's that? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
We introduced him. We're like, wow, Seth MacFarlane, creator of American Dad. He's like, well, come on. Creator of Family Guy.
So it's all around play. And again, it's a small, close knit community, the animation community. So you end up knowing everybody, and it's like high school.
Where everyone gets along.
Yeah, I'm sure there are shows that butt heads. Not ours though.
I mean, Jeff Johns, obviously, since he wrote on the show,
Somebody mentioned earlier there's a list from which all the jokes come, a material list.
Materialist.
Is that accurate?
Is
You
Beans
guys-
talking crap?
You guys have a well from which you draw?
Beans likes to put together this lovely list of properties because he doesn't have the shorthand of nonsensical material that a lot of the other people do. So he'll write everything down and be all organized and all this. And, there are people like Tom who refuse to acknowledge that list exists.
Well, it's just hard. Like, crappy stuff go up on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's some writers who want a word of the day, which I find really weird, but maybe it'll spark something. So
you'll have a Pee-wee
word of the
episode?
day, and it'll just be like, chair. And like, someone will just take that word and try to turn it into a sketch. Again, each writer has their own process.
I can imagine like a Pee-wee episode with that. Magic word.
Cherry. Yeah, we should. Yeah, exactly. The yelling.
What are some of the most memorable sketch you guys had? Or your favorite, or something that just sticks with you?
Most memorable for me, I mean, there are two actually for me. One is the Emperor phone call, because I think that's for us the turning point of us being an underground, unknown show to turning into something where it became a lot bigger. Getting that call from Lucasfilm after that aired was like a shocking, fearful experience.
Is that why you're blinging it out on?
No, well, at the moment, I mean, when you air a Star Wars sketch on television and it's making fun of them, and then you see caller ID say Lucasfilm on it, after you're like, we are going to get sued right this second. But it was really sweet because the publicist for Lucasfilm, her name is Tracy Canobio, and that is really her name. just was a huge fan. Said that George had seen it and loved it, and they wanted to invite us up to Skywalker Ranch and the Presidio for a tour. And we were like, we will be there this week. And it just evolved and turned into that. So that was one, and the other one was Real World Metropolis. Because I think for me that was like that was our second episode, and it really just it showed that we can make just really weird, funny shit.
Let me ask you a question. So the only Marvel you really had was like Hulk and like the DC with everything else. How do you guys come up with that to throw in like Hulk in there?
Real World Metropolis?
We wrote that so long ago.
Yeah.
That was written for Sweet J Presents back in 2000.
It's not that we didn't know any better.
Yeah, no, I figured you guys did it for a reason.
Like,
No, there was no reason whatsoever.
we need. Who's our Puck character? He'll be the Hulk.
This is done.
Yeah. I was Adam Talbot. He did that voice.
How about you?
Avengers sketches coming up, so you've got several of them?
Yes.
Like a lot?
Yeah, many Avengers sketches. We're doing the Avengers musical.
There's one that uncomfortable one with Black Widow and Hawkeye, which I really like.
Well, we wrote this sketch that was sort of like, why are Black Widow and Hawkeye even on the team? And this whole run about their powers, and because they don't have any powers, and they're on a team with Thor. And we thought we were so clever, and then we actually went and saw the movie, and we were like, oh my god, they're awesome. Joss Whedon actually explained why they're on the team, and now we feel like jerks, but we're going to air this anyway. We already worked on it, so it's going to be on the show.
Now, besides those Avengers sketches and your big DC special, are there any other things that we might see that you're carrying through the season?
We had a lot. We have some good Dora sketches coming up. We got. Gosh, I'm trying to think of some of the other fun stuff. I mean,
I'm trying to think of stuff we've never done before. We're doing an iCarly sketch.
Yes, we are. There's an Alvin and the Chipmunk sketch, which is one of my favorites of the season so far that I've seen.
It's pretty disgusting.
Any Game of Thrones?
Yes. We did get...
Did that get cut?
One of them got cut for sure.
Can you talk about that one?
The one that got cut was Game of Thrones musical chairs. And it was as stupid as you would imagine. And that's why it got cut. I think we got one more in there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. We're really in love with that opening credit sequence from Game of Thrones. It's computer generated, but it looks very much like our show with like handmade models and stuff. So we really tried to find a way to crack that, and we did not accomplish that at all.
Yeah.
Take on the My Little Ponies fanhood or fandom.
My Little Pony? Did we do another
Tara
one?
Strong.
Well, the issue with My Little Pony is, like, we've done My Little Pony sketches. Like, we did Apocalypse Ponies before My Little Ponies and the Apocalypse. But now My Little Pony has turned into this whole other thing. And that's what, like, and I don't think any of us in the writer's room have seen Friendship is Magic. So that would be dangerous. Like, because we would write our thing. The only ponies we know are 80s ponies. But we, at some point, we've got to actually get on board with it.
We might have to force the writers to watch My Little Pony.
Are there any Friendship is Magic fans at this table?
Maybe Bean.
Is it actually worth watching? Does it live up to the hype? Or is it like a cult thing that people love it because it's not cool? It's actually cool.
It actually is.
I just want to see you guys do something and then have Tara Strong do the voice just because that'd be hilarious.
You guys follow Tara Strong on Twitter?
Yes.
She's crazy on Twitter with the brony stuff.
Yeah.
She's so
great.
good. She's so good.
She did such a good job with us.
Such a, like, the greatest voice actress of all time.